On December 3rd and 4th, NATO leaders gathered to celebrate the 70th anniversary of NATO. A leaders' meeting really doesn't need to accomplish anything, but NATO leaders did want to focus and discuss on issues that are very important to the alliance. So they wanted to talk about emerging technologies, artificial intelligence, robotics, how that impacts the future of warfare. They wanted to talk about China's growing presence in NATO member countries, from infrastructure to technologies. They want to talk about how to continue to deter Russia aggression. And there would not be a NATO gathering if there wasn't a discussion about how much NATO members are spending on their defense.
President Trump had previously expressed reservations about NATO's relevance. He was calling for them to spend more and do more within the alliance. NATO allies are doing much better in spending more and spending better. They're contributing more cash in terms of defense spending. They're investing better in terms of capabilities, and they're showing their commitment with continued deployments to overseas operations.
So in some ways, how the alliance is working very well.
The alliance is militarily strong and it's checked all the boxes, but in terms of political cohesion, we're seeing a lot of the fragmentation from the national government level being reflected up in NATO's discussions.
It's not just about President Trump and his views about NATO. Europe itself is struggling to understand what are the most important threats it faces. And of course, Brexit and the deep divisions between NATO European allies also come into play.
The French perspective before the NATO summit was to initiate something of a wake-up call and call upon allies to confront some of the challenges that they have been facing both within and outside the alliance, the issue of division, of unilateral decisions. In a way, asking ourselves what being allies really mean.
The Secretary General of NATO is going to start a new strategic dialogue.
A political reflection process that is likely to take the form of a group of experts who will be in charge of thinking over the missions, the values, and the obligations that fall upon allies and that the alliance should uphold to remain relevant in the 21st century. And in this way, it was maybe a more forward-looking summit than lower expectations before that could have anticipated. So this is why the London summit was so important in restating the fact that all NATO governments were politically committed to the alliance.
It was good that the NATO meeting was held in London. London was the place where the original NATO was set up in 1949, 70 years ago. I think there's always been discussion within and around NATO about what NATO is for, what its core purpose is, but you would expect that of any institution which is 70 years old. The fact it's lasted for so long and been so steady during those 70 years is testament to the effectiveness of the alliance. But NATO's been through much, much more turbulent times than recent times.